8 episodes. 8 episodes, and it took them 2 years to make this. And it's going to be 3 years come next year. So 3 years between seasons for 8 episodes. Wednesday's season 2, first part, just dropped this week. 3 years. We looked it up. That shit came out in 21, 22. 3 years to make 8 episodes of Wednesday season 2, and you're breaking it up. You got 4 episodes this month and then 4 episodes in September. House of the Dragon season 3 is taking 2 years to make 10 episodes, including the fact that the episode that they're starting with should have been in season 2, from what I understand. Rings of Power, for all its shittiness, 3 years to make that. They just started production this month. And the list goes on for all these shows on streaming that are taking years to make small count episodes. We're not going to talk about quality. That's a different discussion. Production of television has become garbage. When, look at behind me, you can see the series on my shelf. Many of these series, 20 to 26 episode seasons every year in the 80s, the 90s, into the 2000s, and the 2010s. Until suddenly, hey, let's spend more money and make less episodes and put out crap. What happened? What happened? I put it to you. Start us off. What happened?
Yeah, I think it's a loss of talent. A lot of these people were really talented people and had work ethic. Work ethic in general has declined in our society over the last few years, where it's just the 40-hour work week seems like an insurmountable thing to a lot of Gen Zers. Like, it's the death of civilization to them, to the fact that they have to work 40 hours a week, which to people like us who, have been doing this our whole adult lives, 40 hours a week, normal, not even bad or scary. But with these TV shows, taking 1 year off used to be a horrible thing. Like, you were worried, oh my god, a show's taking a year off. Is there something wrong? Is there drama going behind the scenes? Now
It's going to be
3
canceled.
years, it's going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Now 3 years is the norm. Even Game of Thrones, which was one of the highest budget TV shows of that era, was still making yearly shows, yearly seasons, a decent amount of episodes for what they were doing, and doing fine until season 8. They took longer to do season 8, and it was worse. So I really don't understand how more time, more money equals less and more shit. It's this weird formula, but I think a lot of it ties into laziness, being more prone, and people just not caring and hiring non-talented people. When you're not talented, it takes you twice the amount of time to do something that should be simple for a talented person. A real writer can churn out stuff like nobody's business when they have the focus, when they have the work ethic. George R. R. Martin has lost all his work ethic, for an example, and those last books are never going to come out.
Nope.
But people like Stephen King, as much as I'm not a fan of his, I've never really read any of his books, he was churning out books like nobody's business for the longest period of time. And he was a juggernaut for it. We just need to stop hiring people who are straight out of college, who are just either hired because they know somebody who knows somebody. Nepo babies are worse now than they've ever been.
Yeah.
And these people who are being brought on for diversity's sake. None of these people being hired are talented, so it takes them longer to do stuff. And when it takes you longer to do stuff, it costs more money. And then the product suffers because they don't actually know what they're doing. So it's a combination of factors, but this is just poor business. Taking more time to make less product, it should just be a red flag from an accounting standpoint. But those fields are suffering from the same stuff as well. People who aren't skilled in accounting, people who aren't skilled in business being put in charge. So I think it's more a societal issue than an industry issue.
And I think it is still also an interesting issue because somebody mentioned in the chat, is where I was going to go with this next. I mean, Dre, they have people who only know how to make movies trying to make television.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was leaning to. And all credit to what Jay was saying. I absolutely agree with the talent pool being less than stellar. The point about people that are making films, making television is a major issue. Because for the people that are making films, they know they got 90 minutes to tell a story. And they know they got to hit their bullet points and get to where they need to be going. Here's the problem. When you have somebody that's making film, making television, they are now taking their formula of 90 minutes and literally just stretching it and putting filler in between. They're not telling a story individualized. Like you were mentioning your wall of fame back there, Adam. When you think of like Star Trek, each episode could have been something like each one was like what? So that each like TNG,
42
like
minutes.
these- yeah,
42 minutes.
42 minutes. Got 42 minutes, 60 minutes with commercials, whatever. Each one of those episodes, unless it was a 2-part or a 3-part or whatever the case may be, was an episode in of itself that was contained. Then there were elements of whatever those episodes were that might have popped up later on throughout the season or maybe into a next season. A character returns, so on, so forth. It's the classic way of telling linear storytelling via television. Because at that time, week after week, everybody was coming back to sit back in front of the television. And all those people that were producing TV were TV people. Very rarely was there a crossover of a director of a movie that came to do TV or TV to go and do a movie. Very, very rarely. Or maybe they come on for executive producer credit, but never as the head writer or head director or whatever the case may be. Modern day, it's that whole, hey, I made movies or whatever the case may be. Now, I'll give you an example of a show that I actually was liking, but then got canceled. Actually had some feet. Was a show called Almost Human. And that had Michael Ealy and a Carl Urban, and it was directed by, wait for it, J.J. Abrams, and he was the writer behind it as well. Now, granted, he was able to cut his teeth on that, but he didn't get the run that he needed in order to tell a full story. They literally, after the first season, even though the first season got some good run, they went a different direction and the studios cut it.
I mean,
go ahead. Go for it.
The same. It was the same with Black Sails, which it was done by Michael Bay. It was actually a pretty good series. It's basically a prequel to Treasure Island, and it's actually quite good. And again, Michael Bay wrote and directed the show. So again, that's another example of a Hollywood director doing TV.
Mm-hmm. And it was far and in between. It wasn't a regular thing. But then we got these production budgets that absolutely exploded, that are beyond recovery.
Acolyte, $200 million.
These are movie budgets. That's too much money for a TV show.
Movie budgets and movie quality. I use these terms in very strong air quotes. Movie quality as far as like CGI, animation, or whatever the case may be, to try to be a movie in every episode. However, they took the same principle and threw it in the garbage. They decided to take the film route into television. So when it's a film route, most of it is 90 minutes to 2 hours tops. So they took 90 minutes of story and then put literally episode of filler every single time to try to tell one story. You've stretched it out for 8 hours and told a story that's now incoherent, inconsistent, and absolute garbage instead of just focusing on a episode to episode narrative.
And on top of that, the movie people don't understand breaks in the narrative, because the movie just keeps going until you hit your end moment, your end credits. Shows with multiple arcs and narratives and episodes breaking that, a good show writer knows, okay, we have to wrap this up and have it have a cliffhanger or an ending for the episode. We can't just have to take
each episode as a story.
Yeah, you can't have it
as a standalone story
or a chapter. If you're adapting something, adapt a couple of chapters. I mean, Jack can understand if you're adapting a book and you're putting it live action, take a chunk of chapters, and then stop where a chapter ends, because the original creator intended it to be a stopping point where somebody can say, okay, I've just finished this chapter. I can close the book right now and come back later. Even if it's a cliffhanger moment, it's still meant to be a stopping point, not in the middle of, oh, we're just going to stop here in the middle of this and we'll pick up next episode because we're retards and we don't know how to make this shit. That is the problem to what Dre's saying. These people who are movie people don't understand how to construct television. They only know how to construct movies. And when they have to stretch it out, I mean, that's that. The Obi-Wan show, to use an example, that was supposed to be that was supposed to be an Obi-Wan movie. Mandalorian and Grogu was supposed to be originally a Boba Fett movie, but then they stretched this shit out and they fill it with garbage, and untalented casts and untalented writers come together, and directors who have no business directing anything, Dave Filoni, and you basically churn out crap, or you hire showrunners, Leslie Headland, who have no business being a part of a franchise or an IP. And then right now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, we are staring down the barrel of God of War, and you've hired a TV guy like Ron D. Moore, but you haven't given him the tools to make the show good if he's saying we're starting with the Norse saga. I mean, a showrunner is good, but he's then only as good as his writer's room or creative consultants who know the IP or the franchise. I mean, the only reason Ron D. Moore got so good at Star Trek is because he climbed the ladder under other people who knew how to write Star Trek, and then eventually was handed the reins for the end of TNG. That's how it worked. And they could make 26 episodes of television a season without missing a beat and get great casts. You know, to use Star Trek as the example again, Star Trek, and then you could also say Stargate to an extent because it kind of took over after that. Fantastic guest stars, never-ending, awesome guest stars, one after another. Great character actors who know how to do their jobs, who know how to come in and do it and give out an outstanding performance. And then great casts anchored by a great actor or actress who know how to feed the energy, who know how to make it work. Casting Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard was great. He anchored that entire series. Eventually having Avery Brooks, I want to say Adrian, Avery Brooks as eventually Captain Sisko, once Ira Stephen Bear, who took over as the showrunner and head writer for DS9 in season 3, once he took over and gave Avery Brooks a chance to really implement what he thought Captain Sisko could be. Suddenly, Avery Brooks became the anchor that he wasn't for seasons 1 and 2. So if you have all the right pieces, you can make good television. We don't have that anymore. They're casting ideologically driven assholes as centers. Pedro Pascal for Mandalorian. Oh, I'm Leslie Headland. I wrote this story for Amanda Stenberg because she's gay with me. You know, I mean, that you stick her in there. Oh, hi, we're going to cast a bunch of fucking nobodies for Rings of Power. Oh, hi, we're going to cast a bunch of fucking nobodies for Waste of Time, Wheel of Prime. Oh, but we're going to think what's her name to play Moiraine. We think she's going to anchor it when she can't because Maureen's not the center of the goddamn story. You can't build a story around somebody who's not the main character. It's that simple. True. And then you bring in a bunch of writers who are actively told, as Jed has reported many times, they're told not to read the manga, watch the anime, or play the games. They're actively told not to read the source material. This is the problem we have, and this is why television is falling apart. It's all these things. It's not just one thing. It's all these things. And then add in the pink elephant in the room, the agenda, that everything in the past 10 years, secretly in 15 and 16, but then overtly in 17, 18, 19, all the way to today, agenda was driving it. It became agenda-driven storytelling, not escapism storytelling, because the commie Marxists made their move. And they have failed. It is now, it's over for them for this iteration. Woke is in retreat. It'll become something else. We must remain vigilant, remain on alert. But that is why here we are, Nothing's done. And this is why, in this moment in time, right now, in August, if you are a reviewer like myself and you like to review genre television, not regular stuff, Tulsa King is great. It's going to be fun in a few weeks, but that's not reviewable TV show. That's just sit back, relax, and watch it. There's nothing to review about that. Not really, except say, hey, it's good. Go watch it. I review genre, science fiction, fantasy, supernatural stuff, little in between, mix around. There's nothing because all these shows take so goddamn long to make. And Adam, Wednesday season 2 is out. I'm done with Wednesday. I don't care anymore. Combine the fact that I don't really, I'm not into Jenna Ortega. I think she's a loudmouth now too. I don't want to watch her and things. Also, I'm not interested anymore. You took too long. You lost my interest.
Yeah, and that's one of the major problems. I have to agree with you on that. 3 years in between seasons is absolutely insane. The world changes every two. And then the idea that, hey, I'm gonna string along the fan base, whatever it may be, for 3 years in between seasons is unacceptable. There's no way you can foster a fan base like that when it comes to, and it's not like event television. This isn't event television.
No,
this isn't like let's just use something simple. Game of Thrones. Okay, when Game of Thrones used to be the hottest thing on TV,
yeah,
people would have waited 47 years to get another taste of that. All right, because that was event television. Everybody stopped what they were doing, went home and watched HBO. That's just the type of television it was. Event television doesn't exist anymore. Let's cut the crap. It doesn't exist anymore. There is no, hey, I have to stop whatever it is I'm doing and watch. It's over with. Since that doesn't exist anymore, you got to strike while the iron is hot. And these TV shows are going to let themselves cool off for 3 years, and then they're going to retain the same, if not more, of the audience. It's not smart. It's not a recipe for success.
Go ahead.
And the binge model is partially responsible for
Yes.
that.
Absolutely.
The
100%.
event television was killed by binge TV because
I agree.
no one's
I agree with
watching it at the same time. There's no need to. All right, I need to go watch this episode immediately before the big spoiler comes out, and I have the show ruined for me.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
streaming services hurt it as well. But with binge TV, they have to finish the entire season before it comes out, which delays the release of the season. When it was serialized television, when there was 20 episodes a season, you just got the first few done, and then you kept working on the rest of the season as the season aired. That way that you could work continuously. The actors only came in for a couple months every year or whatnot, but as showrunner and whatnot and writers, you were working year round on the same project, and that's what made that possible. But a lot of these creators are being tasked to do multiple things a year, and they have to finish every product before it's ready to go, which it's piling on too much in a short amount of time, already being delayed because it's binge model, and then delayed again because no one's working year round.
Yeah, and to your point,
go ahead. I was gonna watch part 1 of Wednesday season 2 this weekend, and I thought, well, what's the point when the second part's not due until September? I might as well wait until the second part comes out, so I
A lot of
can
people do.
watch
And
both parts.
that's my point. As a customer and consumer, if I'm not reviewing something, of course I want to wait till everything's out. Now, if this had been an old school 26 episode season, no, I watched every week because you had to. You didn't wait. Now, towards the end of a season, maybe I would, for the last month of a season, I would let those final 4 episodes pile up and then watch them at the end for whatever concluding arc was going on, because I didn't want to have to wait. I would do that. But in general, I would watch every week. But there's a reason I don't review anime episodes every week, because the way anime works, I want to watch the entire season at once, all 3 hours of it, when all's said and done. That's what I want to do. And that's my prerogative. But it still works as a weekly release. Tulsa King is going to come out in a few weeks. I'm not going to watch it till it's done, because with everything that I do, constantly streaming, constantly talking about things, I want something to be completely finished, and then I want to sit back and really enjoy it and watch the whole story, because at that point, I feel like I've kind of earned it as my break, as something I really want to do. All I have to do, it's up to me then to avoid spoilers for 2 months. It's up to me. And that's on me. And some people are good about not spoiling, and then there are assholes all over the social media who constantly have to spoil shit because they're immature children and go, look, I just finished watching this. I want to talk about it to the world. Go do a review so I can know to avoid you. Don't just spam it on freaking X because you're a child and can't hold it in for 5 minutes till for even a night until the next day. You have to start spoiling it that night when other people might not have watched it because, as Jed said, this is streaming. Something may be released, but it's there. People will go then watch it in that next 24 hours. If it's a weekly release, like House of the Dragon and stuff like that, they'll watch it in their own time over the next day or so. Mm-hmm. So there's a complete lack of self-control for some people, which feeds into it. And that feeds into the problem with the binge model. It's most people want it all right now. They've been geared towards that. They've been molded towards that. There's no ability to wait anymore. It's the satisfy me now generation. And it's unfortunate. I mean, we had to wait for everything when we were a kid, right, Trey? We had to wait for everything.
Oh, yeah. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for stuff. I'm still waiting to end cliffhangers, but I'm waiting for a see with a quantum leap. Where's my quantum leap?
But, he never made it home, Drake.
Never made it home. Never made it home.
You could always watch the reboot.
I'm not interested in that, Jed.
That's technically that was a revival because it was still the same timeline.
Oh God!
Altered after Sam's last leap, where he made sure that Al's wife didn't remarry, and then when he got home, she was still waiting for him. So,
yeah, I'm gonna just go bury myself in the desert. I'm good.
All right, so I mean, there's a problem, and right now, here we are, August, the rest of the year. There's really no real. There are shows out, but they're slop. Every day when I go through the news for a daily dive, I go, what is this show? What is that show? I don't know the show. It's made for mind-numbingly stupid shit. Genre. Where's the genre? Because let's be honest. Some of these shows, while great, like people like The Bears, the cooking show. I don't want to. I live the cooking show. I don't want to fucking watch it. All right. God help me. I don't want to watch that shit. But all these shows that come out, people talk about them, but they vanish. But it's the genre stuff that really captures the world when it happens. When it was great Doctor Who, it captured the world. When it was great Game of Thrones, it captured the world. When it's great, when genre, science fiction, fantasy, when it's great, that is what captures the world. Mundane, stupid, regular, real world drama shit, it has a niche audience that people pretend is successful, but it doesn't capture the world. They could talk about all they want in the trades, but nobody really gives a shit about them. They don't. And once they're done, they're not watched again. Yes, people will rewatch Suits when it goes on streaming, but Suits was a summer show on USA Network created to air in between regular fall spring television. It was not meant to hold down a network. It was meant to be there as a distraction for those of us who needed something to watch. Of course, when you drop it, and even with Suits, that was a 10 to 12 episode seasons, maybe 15 a couple times. They still got those out every year. Every summer, while it was going, it was there. Same with Psych, same with Monk. These were all summer shows that were put out, but they were summer shows. And when they're all done and shortened and you put them on a streaming service, it's a shorter amount of episode count for an entire series to watch, which makes it then easy to really watch on stream because then you just bulldoze right through it. And it works there. But they were still even done on a smaller scale as regular television. Written, created, produced, acted, directed in the right frame of time. They can't even do that anymore. And they're fucked. There's nothing really out right now. Who's reviewing things? And all these shows that are, like I said, The Bear or all that stuff. Does anybody review this shit and talk about it? Anybody, anywhere?
I don't know what you're talking about. What the heck's a bear?
The Bear
There's
is
a
this
Hulu cooking show. People seem to really like it and say it's good, but I've never actually met someone who
cooking shows don't count. Oh, it's like a competition.
No, it's a drama. It's
a drama. It's about a chef.
Yeah,
and like the thing from Fantastic Four, that's what he's famous from, is from that show.
Yeah,
kid from Shameless.
Yeah, but
all right.
But these shows come out, they're liked, but they're not the last super drama show that held anything down was Breaking Bad.
Yep.
That's
I
the
agree
last,
with
and
that.
that was still network television. That was
Yes,
cable
absolutely.
television. That was
Yeah,
cable
it was cable. I
television.
think that was AMC.
It was AMC. It was AMC.
Yeah.
It was AMC.
Yeah.
But that was ages ago.
Yeah.
It was ages ago. And they were still making it proper then, too.
Yes, they were.
And they did it with Never Call Saul, apparently. They managed to replicate it with that. But there's no ability to do it on streaming. If it's on television, it has a chance. But nobody watches the terrestrial television shows anymore. They're all in the shitter.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep. 100%.
TV's in trouble. TV's in trouble. Where are the shows? They're not here, not for the next months. Nobody, I said, the Bear, all these shows, nobody reviews them. Trade shill sites. Here's our review of this. Nobody's reading your shit. Nobody of note on YouTube is reviewing any of this because it comes and it goes. Because guess what? If it's regular procedural television, nobody cares. And if it's this stuff that's on Hulu, like The Bear, stuff like that, people care. But when they're done watching it, they're done watching it. They move on. If it's genre, people want to talk about it. They want to go back to it. And that's what's missing. The fantastic stuff. And they've destroyed several franchises in the process of trying to make it. They destroyed Wheel of Time. They went the complete wrong direction with Lord of the Rings. And now there will be event television in 2027. Harry Potter. But that's in 2027.
That's a lifetime from now.
And the jury is going to be out on that. We do not know how that's going to shape out. That could be either great or crap. And there's already a lack of enthusiasm. Television. Just find the stuff you used to watch. Find and like it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.